Hey guys, Lunar27 here, bringing Fairy Tail chapter 308, Fairy Tail versus the Executioners. It was Fairy Tail versus the Garou Knights, and I gotta admit, the Garou Knights seem pretty powerful with their magic, but it's a bit too early to tell what all of them can really do, especially that knight. He hasn't fought any of them yet. So the chapter begins with Natsu laughing his ass off from the appearances of the Garou Knights. Because he thinks that they don't look anything like knights. Did he not see the middle guy? He definitely kind of looks like a knight. And I don't know if this is really a time to be laughing right now. I mean, they're trying to get out of Pitfall Palace to rescue Lucy and Yukino, and they can't get out. They couldn't find an exit, and now they have to face off against the executioners of the Fury Palace, so I don't know if this is really the right time to be laughing. Arcadios warns them that their magic has the sole purpose of killing. Not very surprising, really. I mean, most magic can be real strong enough to kill people if you think about it. Oh no. So from what it looks like, it's gonna be Natsu, Panther Lily, Wendy, and Mira Jane versus the 5 Garou Knights, 4 on 5. We do get to learn some of their names, like the paper girl's name is Kamika, and the flower girl's name is Cosmos, and the character that looks kind of like a fisherman or a character out of One Piece, his name is Uosuke. But the other two, like the drinking guy and the knight, the actual knight, we don't know like their names, and we don't even know what the knight can really do. I mean, he doesn't fight in the majority of this chapter. So the first to make the move was Kamika, who uses this technique called Paper Blizzard Crimson Dance, which basically she just launches these red pieces of paper at the others. Natsu tries to burn them, but they couldn't burn. According to Kamika, crimson paper is the god of flames. So I guess judging by their colors from each paper, they have a certain ability. Red paper is like fire paper, I guess, because it cannot be burned. So it looks like the attack was going to hit Natsu, but Wendy uses Sky Dragon's Roar to destroy the pieces of paper. But Cosmos makes her move and tries to get her devoured by a giant piranha plant, but that was destroyed by Mira Jane in her Satan Soul form. I really like Mira Jane in her form. She looks awesome in it, by the way. There are these weird branches, or yeah, I think they're like vines or roots or something that try to get Yukino and Lucy, because they're the only ones, aside from Happy and Charles, that cannot fight because they didn't have their keys. But Panther Lily manages to cut them, and Natsu decides to grabs Yukino and Lucy to try to evade them. But the guy with the wine bottle attacks Panther Lily and punches the ground with acid spewing out. And then Kamika uses the same paper blizzard technique, but this time she launches violet pieces of paper. And what it does is paralyzes the movements of anyone who's touching the paper. Apparently she calls it the god of binding. And then Cosmos summons this giant flower that was able to suck people up like a vacuum, which tries to do that to Natsu and the others. But Wendy was able to undo the magic of the violet paper, something called Body Anomaly Reversal Magic Rays. So she was able to dispel and undo magic. I don't know if I remembered seeing her use that technique before, but I guess this is the first time I've ever seen her use it. So that now that they're able to move, Natsu, Panther and Mira Jane combine their attacks to destroy the plant, which it does, and causes this massive explosion in the Pitfall Palace. You'd think an explosion like that, they would, the princess and all the knights inside would feel it in the castle, but I guess not, because this Pitfall Palace must be like really deep underground of the Fury Kingdom. And we cut back to Princess Hisui and the others. She learns that the Garou Knights are where Natsu and the others are, and according to her, she says, "My plan seems to backfire every time. Please make it out of this safely, Arcadius." So she planned on trapping Arcadios, Natsu, and the others for some reason. I think it probably has to do with the Eclipse plan. But I have to ask, if she knew that the Garou Knights are in Pitfall Palace, why would she put them there in the first place? I mean, yeah, it's just so that she can prevent them from escaping, but if the Garou Knights are there and they're gonna try to kill them, couldn't she, like, orders them not to kill them, or to, I don't know, maybe knock them unconscious or something? I'm not sure. I don't even know what her plan is. She's doing something, but it's definitely got something to do with the Eclipse plan, that's for sure. Maybe she's on Arcadios' side for some reason. I'm not really sure. We don't know a lot about Hisui. So anyway, back at Pitfall Palace, the explosion manages to split everyone up. And from what we can tell, it's going to be Natsu versus the Knight, Wendy versus Cosmos, Mira Jane versus Kamika, Panther Lily versus the big drinking guy, and Happy Charles, Arcadius, Lucy, and Yukino versus Uosuke. Yeah, they're pretty much screwed. But then again, this is Fairy Tail, so maybe they'll hold against their own even without the keys. They'll probably come up with some sort of plan to beat him, but I'm kind of skeptical about that. So yeah, in Lucy and Yukino's group, yeah, they did run into Uosuke, and Uosuke is like using some sort of levitation magic to lift up Happy, and then he throws him at a pillar, and they think that they could be able to beat him because they thought his magic was kind of lame, you know, levitating people. But then Uosuke, he says this: "If you take that tone with me, you'll make me angry. And you wouldn't like it when I'm angry." It was basically like that. So in the chapter ends with Yukino and Lucy determining to beat him, but Arcadios tells them that all his victims are reduced to nothing but bones. And yep, they're pretty much screwed. So what do I think about this chapter, 308? This was actually a pretty good chapter. It was nice seeing Fairy Tail teaming up against the Garou Knights. I like seeing what the Garou Knights can do so far. Out of all of them, we still have no idea what the Knight does. And apparently from what Arcadius told Lucy and Yukino about Uosuke, it seems that he may be one of the strongest people there. Well, maybe not the strongest in their group, but really strong. For all you know, maybe the strongest person is the Knight himself. But, you know, since this is a Fairy Tail, obviously Natsu and the others are going to try to beat will be able to beat the Garou Knights. They'll probably, I guess those who are capable of fighting, they'll try to beat the Garou Knights they're facing off against, and they'll try to head towards wherever Lucy and Yukino are, or Lucy and Yukino will probably figure out a way to beat Uosuke. Although I have no idea how. I mean, also Uosuke's magic is a bit of a mystery. He does levitate people, but the first time he was introduced, he was able to like lift up the ground as well. So maybe it was some sort of special kind of magic we don't even know about. Next week's chapter, 309, is called The Burning Earth. So either we're gonna see Natsu versus the Knight, or go back to the Grand Magic Games. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing what Uosuke is going to do against Lucy and Natsu. Sorry, Lucy and Yukino. But I don't know, like, how are they going to be able to beat this guy, but then again, this is Fairy Tail. So overall, this chapter was pretty good. It was action-packed, not a lot of dialogue. There's still a bit of a mystery towards the princess. Don't know what is her deal, but we'll probably have to wait and see in the next couple of chapters. As for the Grand Magic Games, I'm not sure we're going to cut back to it. Next week, we'll probably see Natsu facing off against Knight, judging by the title, of course. But it was a pretty good chapter. So yeah, that's Fairy Tail chapter 308. I'm going to Spiral 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.